Today, I'm going to show you how to double your available pocket operator patterns. Sort of. Freebeat. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Today's patron shoutout goes to Ingerlish. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. So if you're familiar with the Teenage Engineering pocket operators, then you probably know that they have a 16-step sequencer, which allows you to sequence in 16 different patterns. However, if you are like me, then at some point you've probably wished you could get a few more patterns out of the pocket operators than just the standard 16. And today I'm going to show you a little workaround that allows you to cheese effectively 32 patterns out of any of the pocket operators. Now, side note, this will work with all of the pocket operators. However, there is an extra technique on top of the one that I'm going to show you that only works, I believe, on the second gen and forward. So the PO 12, 14, and 16, I believe, are excluded from the second tip coming later in the video. Also, this tip is geared a little more towards beginners, as the foundation of the tip is a pretty common concept in electronic music gear, especially if you've been around for a while. So just keep that in mind. Now, the first thing we want to do is pick a tempo that we want our pattern to be at. For this trick to work properly, that tempo needs to be at least 120 BPM. So I'm going to hold BPM and use knob B here to pick 130 beats per minute. How about that? We'll go for 130 BPM. So I'm going to go to my drum kit here. Let's take this kick drum, put it on beats 1 and 3. Let's take this snare here on sound 6, put it on beats 2 and 4. I'm going to take this cymbal and let's put it on all of the off beats. There we go. By the way, on the pocket operator grid, I like to count through my steps: 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and. Let's hit play and take a listen to our very basic drum groove. As you can hear, very simple. You can also see that this groove takes up one entire pattern. This entire pattern is one measure of music. Reset. Reset. 1, 2, 3, 4, reset. 2, 3, 4, reset. Right? Pretty normal concept so far. So if we want to double this pattern's length, what we need to do is a little math. We need to take our tempo and divide it by 2. Cut it in half. So we're at 130 BPM. 130 divided by 2 is 65. So I'm going to hold BPM and set the tempo with knob B to 65 beats per minute. It's a lot slower, isn't it? That's because in order to treat this pattern as 2 measures, we need to stop looking at each step as a 16th note and start looking at each step as an 8th note. That means instead of one pattern of 16 16th notes, we're going to have 2 measures of 8 8th notes. So let's remove everything we've got here and start from scratch. Now remember, we're looking at this grid here as 2 measures. So measure 1 is going to start right here and end right here. Measure 2 is going to start right here and end right here. So let's sequence measure 1. So because these are 8th notes, we're going to start counting through the grid like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Does that make sense? Measure 1, measure 2. So let's get our kick drum, put it on the downbeat right here. This is still beat 1 of our first measure. Now we're going to put the second kick drum right here. This is effectively beat 3 of our first measure because we're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's take our snare drum now here and put this on beats 2 and 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right there. 2 and 4. Now let's fill in the blanks with our cymbal. There we go. We're going to put this on all of the offbeats again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. There we go. We've recreated our groove that we first made in the video at effectively the same tempo, but we've only used half of the available pattern on the pocket operator. You can see it's blank for the second half. So let's do this again in the second half here. Kick drum on beat 1 and beat 3 of our second measure. So now we're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Grab that snare drum there, and that's going to go on beats 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And once again, grab that cymbal, put it on all of our off beats, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, now we have 2 measures of that groove at effectively the same tempo as before, but both of those measures are only fitting into one pattern. Let's listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. How cool is that? Now, of course, if you're paying attention, you've probably noticed that we've lost sequencing resolution because now we're working with 8th notes instead of 16th notes. And yes, that is very true. Here's where that second tip I mentioned comes into play, and I believe this is only available on the second gen and forward pocket operators. We can actually use the double trigger function to provide the illusion of 16th notes. And let's start off by trying to do that on the very last step of our pattern down here. This should be a cymbal. Now, the way that this works on pocket operators is you want to make sure that write mode is on, okay? Then you're going to hold down the step that you want to double the trigger for. So in this case, step 16. Then as you're holding it down, tap the BPM button. And you'll see right there it says TR2. That stands for trigger 2. Now listen to what happens. Hear that? The last step doubles. We can do this for any of our steps on the pocket operator here. Let's do it for the kick drum on beat 3 of our first measure. So we're going to go right here to this kick drum here with write mode on, hold it down, press BPM. TR2, let's play. We now have 2 measures worth of music if we're counting at 130 beats per minute that are both distinct from each other and still effectively feature 16th notes. Now, this is going to vary from pocket operator to pocket operator, but on the Mega Man, you can actually apply double triggers like that to melodic sounds as well. So we can get this sound right here. I can fill in all 16 of my steps here. Then I can hold them down in write mode, use knob A to select pitches. I wasn't really paying attention to the pitches I selected, so bear with me. Yeah, definitely a little bit of a key shift in there. Whoops. And like I said, we can apply the double trigger to each of these steps as well. So let's just do it for all of them. So I hold down the step with write mode on, press BPM. All right, let's have a listen. And just like that, we've got something that feels just like an arpeggio. And because we're on the Mega Man, I can even go and play some bass under it or sequence bass. Okay, I just went back in and fixed the notes on the arpeggio because that was driving me nuts. Yeah, there we go. And remember, that's only using one pattern on the pocket operator. So that's how you can effectively double your amount of available patterns on the Teenage Engineering pocket operators. I do hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.